Pay attention now with an open heart, because what I am about to speak to you does not come from the voice of men, but from the very depth of my eternal heart. Stop for a moment. Yes, stop. Turn off all distractions, silence the noise around you, and focus solely on what I am saying here, with love, urgency, and power. What you are about to receive is not just any word. It is my living word, ignited by the fire of the Holy Spirit, directed straight to your soul. It is sent to uplift what the enemy has tried to crush, to restore what seemed lost, and to declare that a miracle has been sent directly from heaven, bearing your name written in heavenly ink. It is no accident that you are here today. I caused this meeting. Every step you've taken, every choice you've made, has led you to this moment. I have seen you in your daily battles. I have been close to you in your struggles when breath was hard to come by, when you knelt in silence, not knowing what else to say, when your tears spoke louder than any words. I witnessed your silent nights, the moments when everyone around you was asleep, but you stayed awake, wondering if anyone was truly listening. And yes, I was there. Every sigh, every thought of hopelessness, I saw and heard. Nothing you felt went unanswered in my heart. I see your exhaustion. I know it well. The routine has drained your strength, and the conflicts in your home have worn down your spirit. There are days when pain seems heavier than hope. You've learned to smile on the outside while feeling shattered inside. I know that kind of pain, and I carry it with you. There is not a corner of your suffering that I do not know, not a wound that I have not seen. But today, I come to you as your Father, as your Redeemer, and as the one who never forgets a promise. I want you to understand this with all that you are. The moment of your miracle has arrived. It's not tomorrow, it's not later, it's now. The Holy Spirit has moved with divine precision. What was held up in heaven has now been released. I have sent blessings that carry your name. The door that seemed shut has been opened. I have given the command, and my angels are preparing the way. And yes, this miracle is not a generic one, nor is it something that is broad and unpersonal. This miracle has been designed specifically for you, because only you truly understand how deeply you needed it. It is the answer you have been waiting for, the one you almost gave up believing in. It is the healing for that invisible wound you carry in the depths of your being. But hear me clearly, with both solemnity and love. Do not let yourself be distracted. Do not let this moment slip by as if it's just another passing thing. This is not a message to excite you temporarily and then leave you unchanged. This is a critical call to your spirit. It is a divine sign in the middle of a path that appeared to have no way forward. Stay with me. Listen to every word until the end, because if you walk away now, you might miss the exact revelation you need to move forward with renewed faith in the new direction I've already begun to lay out for you. The enemy will try to steal this word from you, to distract you and make you think that nothing has shifted. But I assure you, everything has started to change the moment you open your heart to receive this message. Nothing escapes my sight. I do not only see your suffering, I also see your purpose. I see your destiny in me. I see the promises I made to you even before you were born. And because of my eternal love for you, I am intervening with great power at this very moment. A miracle is on its way, but it won't come in the way you might expect. It will arrive with new signs, with movements you might not immediately understand, but it will be my hand, working with supernatural precision. So, open your heart, open your ear, and open your spirit. Heaven has leaned toward you, and this message is the first sign of what I've already begun to do. Stay with me, listen intently, and do not leave just yet. What comes next is even deeper, and it is meant to guide you to something greater. Hear me, beloved child. You are not here by mere chance. I, your God, the one who formed you in the womb, the one who held you even when you were unaware of my presence, have designed this moment with eternal precision. Nothing you are experiencing is unknown to me. I know your past with its wounds, your present with its struggles, and your future, filled with promises yet to be revealed. You are not invisible to me, and you are certainly not just another face in the crowd. You are my beloved, my chosen one, my precious creation, and today, I have decided to speak to you with clarity, because your heart has long cried out for answers, and I am the God who answers. There were times when you felt alone, as though your prayers were lost in the wind. You may have believed my silence meant indifference, but I tell you with eternal love, every moment of silence was not neglect, but a sacred space of preparation. I have never ignored you. I was preparing you. Behind the scenes, I was working, organizing the pieces of a miracle that only I could create. While you cried, I was laying invisible foundations. While you doubted, I was aligning hearts and circumstances to ensure that everything would fall into place at the perfect moment. And now, that moment has arrived. The invisible is beginning to take form. The impossible is bending to my will. This is the time when I, the God of the impossible, rise with authority to declare divine healing in your life and in the lives of those under your care. Open your hands now. Open your heart, for in this very moment, I am sending a supernatural wave of restoration, a mighty force that will renew every cell in your body, every emotion, and every thought. What has weakened you for years, what you thought was a permanent burden, is being lifted by the power of my word. I am the Lord who heals, the one who restores what seemed forever broken, and today I am bringing that restoration into your life. Just as I spoke to the dry bones and breathed life into them, today I speak to your body and soul, commanding them to rise with renewed life. Receive this word with faith and complete trust, for today is the appointed time for life to bloom again, with a renewed intensity in both you and your family. I know how many times you have been hurt by unjust words, betrayed by those who promised to stand by you, and diminished by those who could not see the calling I placed upon your life. You've endured moments when the envy of others sought to dim the brightness of my promise within you. But I see it all, and I have never remained indifferent to your suffering. Today, I am establishing a protective shield around you, a spiritually powerful and impenetrable barrier. No weapon formed against you shall prevail. No word spoken in opposition to you will have the power to harm you. I have seen how tongues have risen against you, how plans were crafted to bring you down, but I have declared enough. Right now, I am severing the chains of persecution. I am dismantling the schemes that sought to suppress the blessing I have set aside specifically for you. There is no curse, no spell, nor human manipulation that can alter what I have ordained for your life. What I open, no one can close. What I bless, no one can curse. Just as I protected Daniel in the lion's den, I am surrounding you with my living presence so that no enemy can touch you. The distress that once stole your peace is being replaced with supernatural peace, not the kind the world offers, but my peace that surpasses all understanding, settling deep within your soul. Now is the time to walk in boldness, for the healing I am bringing will not be limited to just physical restoration. I am also restoring your emotional wounds, healing painful memories and reclaiming areas of your identity that were marred by rejection, abandonment, and the constant weight of comparison. I am restoring to you the true image, the one I created from the very beginning, the image that reflects my own. You were never meant to live in a shortage of love or bound by the chains of fear. You were designed to walk in fullness, holding your head high under the light of my presence. So do not fear, do not let doubt take root. What has begun in this word is being fulfilled with power in your reality. You are no longer alone. I am with you, and my mighty hand is moving in your favor. I am the Lord, the one who knows the deepest recesses of the human heart, the one who does not need explanations to understand what lies in the hidden places. There is no corner of your heart unknown to me, no thought so quiet that it escapes my attention. Everything, absolutely everything, is laid bare before my eyes. Yet, I have not judged you for your weakness, nor have I rejected you because of your brokenness. From the very beginning, I looked upon you with eternal purpose. What others failed to recognize, I had already planned. What was rejected, I chose. What the world deemed insignificant, I am now raising up as a powerful instrument in my hands. Every tear you've shed has been gathered by me. Every sleepless night, every weary sigh, every moment when you felt at the end of your strength, each one is recorded in the book of my memory. None of it has been in vain. Nothing you've experienced was wasted. Even when you believed your efforts were fruitless, when you thought that your sowing would never yield fruit, I assure you that the ground has been tended to by my angels in secret. The winter you endured was not punishment, but part of the process I was leading you through. I was preparing the soil so that your harvest would be abundant, so that the fruit I have cultivated within you would not only be enough for you, but also for many others who will benefit from what I've produced in you. I have seen the injustices that have been aimed at you. I've seen the abuse, the words that tried to erase your identity, the rejections that have marked your story, and I have not remained silent. My justice is always active. It does not sleep. I have measured every wound, every injustice, and I have already set the appointed day when I will clear your name, not for any human merit, but because of my faithfulness. Whoever touches what belongs to me must face me. Therefore, no scheme of evil can prosper. Even if they gather in secret, murmur among themselves, or conspire in hidden places, I will dismantle their plans with a single breath from my mouth. Here is a divine blueprint over you that no human hand can alter. You are surrounded by my presence, and a new atmosphere is beginning to settle around you. It is not mere imagination or a passing feeling. It is a spiritual reality. I am releasing my glory like a mantle over your home, like a cloud that purifies and shields. Many will not understand the changes that are coming. Some will distance themselves from you. Others will be uncomfortable because they won't be able to bear the weight of my presence in you. But do not fear, for those I send to walk alongside you in this new season will be prepared and strengthened for the journey ahead. I will separate what does not build and solidify what carries my purpose. I am aligning your relationships. I am restoring connections that were once lost and severing ties that may have appeared as friendship but were actually chains. The winds of change are already blowing. Though you may not see it yet, I have already set things in motion. The news you will soon receive will unexpectedly alter the course of your life. Situations that seemed permanent will begin to dissolve like smoke before my fire. What was stagnant, what had been stuck for years, will now flow freely like a river released from its barriers. I am pushing forward the projects, and dreams that have long slept within your soul. No more delays, no more cancellations. I have given the command, and what I decree cannot be stopped. What has been attacking your health is losing its strength even now. Every diagnosis that tried to steal your peace is being silenced by my voice of healing. Regardless of the human reports, I hold the final word. I am reversing the internal processes that have held you back. I am rebuilding what was broken. The cells in your body respond to my voice, and every organ reacts to my command. The energy you've lost is returning, and your breath is being renewed. This isn't just happening in you, but also in those who depend on you, in those who have been fighting under your protection. The miracle I'm bringing is spreading like a powerful current, reaching into the areas you thought were out of reach. The words of discouragement that were once planted in your mind are now being replaced with words of life. Where doubt once lingered, I am replacing it with certainty. Where fear once held dominion, I am planting faith. My spirit is renewing your mind, and the thoughts that tormented you will no longer have a hold on you. You will not walk with your head bowed again. You will no longer question your worth. What I planted in you before the foundation of the world is now beginning to emerge with power. The inheritance I have reserved for you will not be given to another. What is rightfully yours by promise will be placed in your hands. What was held back for generations is now being released. I am the one who remembers every word I've spoken. I am the one who fulfills every promise. Through you, I am restoring generations. What your parents could not accomplish, I will make possible through you. I am writing a new story for you, and it begins right now. I look at the works of man, and am not impressed, for everything built without my guidance will eventually fall. But what I build stands forever. That is why, at this moment, I am tearing down the structures you built out of fear, effort, and the need for protection. I am laying the true foundation beneath you, not to destroy you, but to give you something eternal, something that won't be shaken by the trials of life. I am demolishing the barriers that have held you back so that I can shape you according to my original design. For a long time, it's felt like you've been stuck in cycles, walking in circles, as if the ground beneath you is unstable, and every step you take brings you back to where you started. This isn't by chance. You've been surrounded by unbroken cycles, by doors that open briefly only to close before you can walk through them. But now, the time for that to change has come. I've seen how you struggled to change your story, how you gave your all in trying to make things work. But the reason you weren't moving forward wasn't due to a lack of effort, talent, or dedication. It was because I, in my wisdom, was blocking certain paths, protecting you from roads that appeared to lead to life but were filled with deception and loss. Now, I speak to you with the full authority I have as your creator. The cycle is over. I am severing the pattern of repetition that has bound you, the invisible chains that have caused you to stumble into the same situations over and over. These chains are being destroyed by the sword of my spirit. Where there was confusion, there will now be clarity. Where you felt weary without purpose, you will now find direction filled with eternal significance. I am aligning your steps with divine precision. Every movement you make will be guided by my hand, and you will no longer walk in darkness. For I have chosen to be your permanent guide, and I will not send another in my place. You will no longer rely on external signs to know what to do, because I will place within you a sharp discernment, a wisdom that doesn't come from books but from a deep, personal communion with me. Many will watch and not understand the changes you are about to experience. Some will question the decisions you make, but do not explain yourself. Do not try to convince anyone. My work in you will be so evident, so tangible, that those who once doubted will become witnesses to the power with which I support those who obey me. I am not simply releasing passing blessings, but marking the start of an entirely new season in your life. This time, you will not make the same mistakes. You will not return to the starting point. I am closing the old doors, uprooting the negative influences that have contaminated your spirit, and planting new life in every part of you. In this new stage, I will reveal things to you that you were unable to perceive before. I am fine-tuning your spiritual senses, not to hear more voices, but to recognize mine amidst all the noise. You have been bombarded by countless opinions, many well-meaning pieces of advice, but you have lacked my truth. That is about to change. Now, you will be like a tree planted by streams of living water, with deep roots that will not be swayed by any doctrinal winds or the fleeting emotions of the moment. You will possess unwavering firmness, stability, and peace that will not be determined by external circumstances but will flow from within, from the deepest part of my presence in you. As you walk this path, you will also begin to see a way forward where there once seemed to be none. I am an expert at creating paths where none exist, at forming steps in the sea, and raising roads in the midst of the desert. What appeared to be impossible will now be made possible, not through human effort, but by my Spirit, in my name, and for my glory. You will move forward, unburdened by guilt, free from the voices of the past that sought to define you by who you were. What I forgive, I erase not only from my records but also from the dominion it had over your mind. I am making you entirely free, not in part but in full. The freedom I offer is not abstract. It is tangible, felt, experienced, and breathed. You will walk with a new lightness, with direction and purpose. Your words will shift, your thoughts will change. What you once tolerated, you will no longer accept. What you accepted out of habit will have no place in your life. My fire is purifying your inner being, not to destroy, but to refine. You are being prepared to carry something greater, and this preparation has not been punishment, but training. You are about to be entrusted with spiritual responsibilities that you could not have carried before, but now you are ready. Your soul has been strengthened in secret, and what is coming is not insignificant, but abundant beyond measure. I will place you in positions of influence where my name will be glorified through your obedience. You will not seek recognition, but it will find you. You will not strive to be heard, but your voice will be amplified. Not for your sake, but for the sake of what I will do through you. What I have deposited in you is not just for you, but so others may drink, so others can rise, and so many will recognize that I am God. I see time from a perspective that the human mind cannot fully comprehend. I am not bound by the constraints of clocks or calendars, because my will extends beyond all human measurements. What you perceived as delay, I saw as preparation. What seemed like a setback was, in fact, an act of mercy. If I had given you what you desired earlier, you would not have been ready to hold it. I do not bless halfway, nor do I give anything that could become a burden in unprepared hands. That's why you should not compare yourself to those who seem to be ahead of you. They do not walk under the same covenant. I have set you apart, and what I set apart, I refine thoroughly. Now, a stage that has been written since eternity is being activated in your life. It does not come from human effort or natural logic, This is a season where what has been sown in obedience will begin to bear visible fruit. It will no longer be effort that brings results, but alignment with my will. What once required 10 times the energy will now flow with ease, because you will walk in harmony with my rhythm. You will no longer act out of anxiety, and you will stop making impulsive decisions to fill emotional voids. I am healing the roots of your need for approval and your urgency to prove your worth. From this moment on, you will no longer live to please anyone but me. This freedom will mark the difference between who you were and who you are becoming. What begins to manifest now is the result of a deep work, a process of brokenness that not everyone saw, but I saw completely. It was never empty suffering. Every moment of loneliness, every loss, and every unexpected detour was a tool in my hands to refine your character. I did not desire your suffering, but I allowed it for your protection, to shield you from even greater dangers and to teach you to depend solely on me. And now, all that preparation will be validated by the weight of the glory you are about to carry. It will not be emotional, it will be tangible, permanent, and real. Your surroundings will begin to notice a shift in the atmosphere without you speaking a word. You will walk into places, and the atmosphere will change, not because of you, but because of the anointing you will carry. You will be a vessel of my presence, and where you were once overlooked, you will now be recognized. I do not elevate you for the sake of vanity, but because there are lives waiting for the manifestation of what I have placed within you. I am not referring to human positions, but to spiritual authority, the kind of authority that shatters chains with just a word, that restores environments with a simple prayer, that makes darkness tremble. Without raising my voice, I will also open new paths in the area of provision. The fear of the future will no longer dictate your decisions. I am releasing resources from unexpected places. You will no longer depend on a single channel, for I am the owner of gold and silver, and I multiply where there seems to be nothing. I will change your perspective on scarcity and help you see that everything you need has already been provided. It was simply waiting for the right moment to be revealed. And that moment has arrived. I am awakening dormant ideas within you. Talents you had forgotten about will resurface, and gifts you buried out of fear will be activated again. You will not walk this journey alone, for I am bringing divine connections, people with specific assignments to collaborate with you. These are holy alliances, not driven by self-interest, but by obedience to my purpose. Not only will your external circumstances change, but I will also transform your emotional state. Where anxiety once reigned, I will implant a deep serenity. Where insecurity once took hold, I will place an unwavering certainty that cannot be shaken. I am purifying your inner vision, the way you see yourself. Many tried to convince you that you were not enough, that you weren't equipped, or that you didn't have what it takes. But now, you will come to know my truth. And my truth doesn't just set you free, it restores, dignifies, and empowers. You will no longer look back with guilt, nor will you long to return to anything that was not founded in my presence. The yearning for the old will be replaced with a holy expectation for the new that is already unfolding. On this new journey, there will be times when everything seems very quiet, but this will not be a sign of absence, it will be a time of contemplation. I will teach you how to rest in me, to walk without rushing, to trust without needing explanations. I am lifting the burden of having to know everything. You don't need to understand every step. You only need to trust the one who is guiding you. You felt it just now. It wasn't just a passing chill, nor a fleeting emotion. It was my touch, once again reaching out to you. Yes, It is I, the one who formed you before you ever took your first breath, the one who saw you in the hidden places, the one who knows your thoughts even before they reach your lips. Today I speak to you again, not by coincidence, but with purpose. It's my voice you hear, soft yet strong, deep within your spirit. Don't ignore it this time. Don't hide as you have before. Don't turn away as if you don't know who is calling you. I have always been here, even when you didn't want to acknowledge me. The first time I called, you passed it off as just an emotional moment, something of your own making, but it was I who was touching your life, opening a door that you either didn't see or didn't want to walk through. I gave you time because I am patient. I respected your space because I honor your will, and I waited because my love is rich in mercy. But today, I do not come simply to invite you. I come to warn you, because something significant is approaching, and I do not want you to face it without having heard me. What's coming is not something you can overcome with human strength alone. You need spiritual preparation, discernment, and a firm resolve. That's why I am speaking urgently to you now. This time, I do not come with promises alone. I come with a decision that will shape your destiny. Don't ignore this message. Don't pass it off as just another video. Don't distract yourself or delay. This moment has the potential to change everything. It is a crossroads, a point between what hath been and what will come. If you choose to listen to me until the end, I will open your eyes to things you have not yet seen and reveal the true state of your heart. But if you choose to ignore me, your soul will remember it, and you will not be able to say I didn't speak to you. Don't think this message is only for you. It is also for your home, for your family, and for those who have walked alongside you, even if they have not fully understood why everything seems so unstable lately. It's because I am moving the waters. I am touching the deep. Share this with others. Speak of what you are hearing. Send this to those you care about, because the blessing I'm offering won't just be for you. If you obey, it will flow like a river, spreading over everyone around you. What if you keep this to yourself? If you hold it back, what was meant to flow freely will become stagnant. And yes, you've been waiting, hoping certain things would resolve on their own, thinking time would eventually bring order. But time doesn't heal. It only reflects what is already there. Time is not a healer. It's a mirror. What you see right now in your life, whether in your home, your relationships, or your mind, are reflections of what you did to address when there was still peace. I called you before, but you didn't listen. You thought it was just your mind, a fleeting feeling, but it wasn't emotion. It was a quiet whisper of my spirit calling you to confront brokenness before the storm arrived. And now, it's no longer an invitation. It's a warning. Not to scare you, but because I love you, and I do not want to see you fall without having been warned. Listen carefully to what I am saying, because what is about to unfold will mark a significant turning point in your life. If you continue to ignore my voice, it will not just become difficult, it will become decisive. This is a chance for correction, for redirection, preservation. It's not just a call to change, it's a rescue before you sink. It's not merely another warning. This is the last one before the moment that will reshape your story. So stay with me. Don't leave. Don't skip this message. Don't check the clock or start thinking about what's next. What you are about to hear cannot wait any longer. Today I cried for your life. Today I saw what's coming, and I wanted to intervene. Today I have come to you with a decision already being written, and you can still tip the scale. You can still respond, but the time to answer is now. Time is not eternal. The moment is now. Listen, receive, obey, and pay attention, because I am still speaking. I am still here, still waiting for your full attention. This is not just a human voice, nor is it another text in your day. It is I, your God, the one who walked with you before you even understood what good and evil meant. I am the one who has watched over you every night, when the silence felt suffocating, the one who collected your tears when no one was there to see, the one who knew every cry behind your smile that masked your pain. Today I do not come to condemn you, I come to fight for you. I come with fire in my eyes and a deep passion for your soul. I come as the Father who has never stopped waiting for you, as the warrior who stands in defense of your purpose, as the Lord who never gives up on what belongs to him. But today, I have come to fight for you because I have seen the injustices. I saw the harsh words thrown at you like stones. I saw the unfair judgments that wounded you when all you needed was compassion. I saw the looks that condemned you without understanding the weight of your struggles, without knowing how much you had to endure just to keep going. I saw the times you kept quiet, avoiding conflict even though your heart was breaking. I saw the nights you thought you couldn't continue, when you felt like everything was falling apart, when you believed no one would come to your aid. But it was I who held you. I was there in the shadows, in the quiet moments where you knelt in silence, only your tears speaking. I lifted you, even when you didn't realize it, and I would do it again, because I love you. But now, this moment is different. This is no ordinary time. Now is the time to rise, not out of pride, not from anger, but from a deep awareness, with the understanding that your life holds a greater purpose. Something hath been released from heaven. It is what you've been waiting for, what you've prayed for, the answer you've longed for through the storms, the tears you've sown, and the battles you fought. An answer has been sent from my throne, but with it, something has risen against you. The enemy has sensed this movement. He has felt the advance. And if you do not answer my call, if you allow the noise of the world to drown out my voice, you risk losing what you have worked so hard for. This is not a threat, but a loving warning. It is my voice calling from heaven to your spirit. Listen closely. The time for distraction is over. You can no longer seek comfort in shallow things. You can no longer delay the transformation that you know is necessary for your life. You feel it, don't you? You can't deny it. Something has shifted in the atmosphere, a subtle change that you can sense but not quite explain. It feels as if something unseen is watching you, and the air itself has become heavier, more oppressive. Haven't you noticed how the peace that once filled your home has slowly faded away? How the places where you used to find comfort now feel cold and tense? How conversations have become sharper, and how the weight of the news seems to carry more burden than before? This isn't just the state of the world. This isn't simply the noise of humanity. This is a spiritual movement, one that is trying to impact your loved ones, one that is pushing against what I am building within you. But do not be afraid, for I am the God who reveals in order to set you free. I do not bring light to accuse, but to guide. This is why I have come to you now, to give you the discernment to see beyond what is visible, so that you will not make decisions driven by fleeting emotions but according to my will. If you continue as you are, if you ignore this call once more, something serious will happen. Not because I desire it, but because you are outside of my protective covering. I want to shield you. I want you to stand firm, to be planted, full of faith when what is to come arrives, not confused, not weak, not distracted. But obedience is the only thing that guarantees protection. Listen carefully now. Your response to my call today will not only shape your path, but will decide what will be preserved in your life and what will be lost. I do not manipulate your emotions. I am not stirring you with words. I am touching your spirit because this is a defying moment. Your story isn't finished, but if you continue without direction, it could be twisted. I am your direction, your truth. I am the one who loved you first. So now, make the choice. Will you continue to listen, or will you ignore the only voice that can save what you're about to lose? From the very beginning, I've been working in the details you didn't even know needed attention. While you thought nothing was happening, I've been moving pieces, closing doors that would have harmed you, and preparing the paths you are now starting to see. Every moment of silence I allowed, every period of waiting that you didn't fully understand, every time you felt abandoned, these all had a hidden purpose that only my eternal wisdom could carry. I have not been idle, nor have I been distant. I was guiding your steps, even when your eyes couldn't see beyond the pain, because I know the end from the beginning, and I do not falter in the face of your doubts or retreat because of your fears. I remain constant, faithful, and unwavering, even when you stumble. You have fought internal battles that no one knows about, smiles that hid deep storms, words that slipped out while everything inside was crumbling. There were times when you thought you were alone, but in truth, you were being shaped by my hand. In the quiet, I allowed you to walk through the fire, not to destroy you, but to purify you. Every moment of pain, every act of betrayal, every sleepless night without comfort was accounted for by me. Not a single tear fell that I didn't gather. And though there were times when it seemed like my promises were taking too long, I want you to know that not a single word I've spoken over you has been forgotten. But now, there is something you can no longer ignore. You have become accustomed to the weight of spiritual fatigue. You've surrounded yourself with voices that water down my truth, and over time, you have allowed your heart to grow cold amidst the silent battle you've been facing. What once shook you now seems tolerable. What you once recognized as dangerous now feels normal. You've let your guard down, not out of ill will, but out of sheer exhaustion. But that exhaustion, if not addressed in my presence, will become the very opening through which defeat can creep in. You can no longer live as though nothing is happening, not when a war is being waged in the invisible, for your soul and the destiny of those you love. I saw when you wanted to give up, when you longed for it all to end, when you wished the weight of the struggle would just disappear. I saw your desperation, not your faith. I saw when you tried to mask the emptiness with distractions, with busyness, and justifications. But that is not how you will be set free. That is not how you will claim what I've already prepared for you. What is ahead cannot be achieved through your own strength. It will only come through your complete surrender to my will. This is a season where the genuine is being separated from the superficial, the strong from the weak, and the eternal from the fleeting. There were things you were about to achieve, answers ready to be given, blessings on the verge of manifestation, but something interrupted them. A spiritual resistance was set into motion. A force rose up with the intent to block what was meant for you, operating through discouragement, confusion, and fear. What you are feeling is not just fatigue. It is a pressure meant to halt your progress at the very moment when you are closest to your breakthrough. But know this, that pressure is no match for my power. You must press forward with strength, for I am your protector, and what I have set in motion cannot be undone by any force of the adversary. The only thing that can cause you to lose is your silence, your passivity, your indifference toward the battle you know you must face. Your surroundings have shifted. You've noticed that the atmosphere has become tense, more brittle, more hostile. The words that once spoke of unity now bring conflict. Places that were once solid have cracks beginning to appear. This is not by accident. It is a sign, proof that a battle is unfolding. I allowed you to feel it because I do not want you to continue walking as though everything is in human hands. What is coming cannot be resolved by mere human words or strategies of the mind. It must be fought in the spiritual realm. It will be overcome in my presence. What is about to unfold depends on a decision you must make from the core of your being, a complete surrender to my will. If you fail to take the step I am urging you to take, if you continue to delay the change you know you must make, you will begin to lose what had been protected by mercy. Not because I desire to take anything from you, but because you will step outside the place where my protection can shield you as it once did. The enemy has no power over you as long as you are under my covering, but if you choose to step out of that covering through disobedience, what comes will not be by chance. It will be a consequence, not due to a lack of love, but because of the need to awaken what still lies dormant within you. My purpose for you remains unchanged. My covenant with you remains unbroken, but I cannot make your decisions for you. What is about to unfold, for better or worse, will be a direct reflection of the choices you make right now. Do not wait for more signs. Do not look for another intervention. This is the hour when heaven itself has come down to clearly mark your path. What you do with this message will have eternal consequences not just for you, but for your home, your relationships, and everything around you. There are areas within you that you know can no longer remain the same. You felt it, the habits, the decisions, the associations that continue to pull you back into the same cycle, like a wheel that spins endlessly. And though you've tried to break free, it feels as if something unseen keeps you chained. What you have not fully understood is that this cycle has spiritual roots. It is not just weakness. It is not just habit. It is ground that has been surrendered, a space that has not been completely given over to my reign. And in that space, the enemy has found a way to operate, subtly and cunningly, to whisper lies that seem like truth, to offer reasons that sound wise, but are actually filled with deceit. Every time you ignore my voice in those areas, what later causes you to stumble grows stronger. And it's not that I haven't provided opportunities for you to change. I have spoken to you in many ways, through people, through circumstances, even through periods of silence that were not signs of absence, but of protection. I closed doors that you wished to open because what you would have found behind them was not a blessing, but destruction disguised. I led you away from paths that seemed good in the moment, but I knew would lead you to a fall you couldn't recover from. I didn't reject your plans out of spite. I did it out of love. I did it because you see only the moment, but I see the end result. Even when you cried out in confusion, when you didn't understand my actions, I continued to work on your behalf. Even when you thought I had forgotten you, I was still paving the way for you, waiting for you to fully trust me. You've been searching for stability, desiring a firm place where you can rest without fear of everything crumbling again. But that stability is not found in a place, a person, or a season of life. It is found only through constant obedience, when you choose to live under my guidance, even if it means giving up what seems safe. because what seems safe, if it doesn't come from me, is nothing more than an illusion. Many are trapped in illusions that appear peaceful, but in reality, they are nothing more than comfortable zones where faith gradually fades away. I do not want you to remain in a place where your spirit withers in silence. If necessary, I will shake up your life, to wake you up and help you see what is truly at risk. I did not place you on this earth to simply survive. You were created with an assignment, with a calling that has the power to affect generations. You are not here just to fight for yourself, but to clear the way for those who will follow in your footsteps. Every decision you make today will leave a mark. Every act of obedience you take builds a platform upon which others will walk. That's why the trials you face are not insignificant. That's why the process is more intense, because through you, patterns are being broken, a new lineage is being raised, and such change always brings opposition. Darkness trembles when someone awakens to the eternal purpose they carry within them. And although you may not fully grasp it yet, you carry something that threatens the very dominion of evil over your home, your bloodline, and your generation. You are not under attack because you are weak. You are being attacked because there is something inside you that represents a profound threat to the kingdom of darkness. And as long as you continue to doubt, that potential remains dormant. But if you rise, if you break free from what binds you, if you choose to walk with conviction and never look back, you will see things that others only dreamed of. I have prepared victories for you that you did not inherit from your parents, blessings that don't come from your family name or your personal history, but straight from heaven, from my own hand. However, these blessings cannot be received with a divided heart. I cannot trust the eternal to someone who still bargains with the temporary. This is the moment for you to define who you truly are. You can no longer continue mixing light with darkness, truth with excuses, faith with convenience. I do not share my glory with anyone. If you claim to belong to me, then let your life declare it, even in the darkest days. Let your actions speak louder than your words. I did not call you to simply blend in with the crowd. I marked you to be a sign, to be living proof that my power has the ability to transform, to free, and to restore what the world has written off as lost. Yes, I will restore what you have lost, but that restoration will not happen as long as you continue justifying your complacency. My grace is abundant, but it requires surrender. What you are going through right now is part of a deep, cleansing process. I am breaking down the internal structures that have been built upon wounds, fears, and lies you've been told from a very young age. I am uprooting the false beliefs that have tainted the way you view life, love, faith, and even your own identity. This process is not punishment. It is transformation. It is preparation for what I am about to place in your hands, because what I'm preparing for you cannot be held with a divided heart or an unstable mind. This is a prophetic moment in your life, one I will not let pass without giving you the chance to fully align yourself with my will. What's coming will exceed your expectations, but it will also demand a level of faith that cannot be bargained with. Anyone who wishes to see my glory must die to everything that is not of me. Just as gold is refined in fire, so I am refining you not to harm you, but to reveal to you your true worth. If you understood the immense impact you could have on the spiritual realm with just one decision of complete obedience, you would not hesitate for a second. Heaven doesn't remain silent without purpose. Every pause, every moment of waiting, every seeming delay has a purpose. There are times when I allow silence to see what you will do with the time I've given you, with the words you've already received, with the signs I've placed before you time and time again. Not everything happens immediately, because not everything that's delivered without a process will last. And you are at a point now where the depth I'm building in your life requires decisions that come not from emotion, but from conviction. It's no longer enough to know what's right, it's time to act on it. Knowledge without obedience becomes a burden, and that unaddressed burden eventually silences the voice of my spirit. There are places where you no longer belong, not because you've changed on the outside, but because I've begun to separate you from them internally. What once felt comfortable now seems unfamiliar. This is no accident. It's part of the process I'm leading you through. I am uprooting you from structures that have held back your growth, relationships that have drained your purpose, and environments that allowed your faith to exist without allowing it to mature. I am not abandoning you. I am positioning you. This is not isolation. It is preparation. For the next stage of your journey, you cannot carry the weight of the past. There are burdens you must leave behind, not because you lack strength, but because what lies ahead requires you to have clean hands and clear vision. You are stepping into a spiritual threshold. Many around you may not see it, but you do. You have felt how things that once didn't affect you now strike a deeper chord. You've noticed an increased sensitivity in your spirit, as if the unseen world is now closer, more active. This is discernment awakening within you. I am sharpening your senses so that you can perceive what you once overlooked, hear what was lost in the noise, because what is coming cannot be understood with the natural mind. It will require walking by faith, seeing with the eyes of the Spirit, and trusting in my guidance, even when you cannot yet make sense of the ground beneath you. I do not expect perfection from you, but I seek his sincere surrender. I am nearer to the broken-hearted than to the self-sufficient. It is not external achievements that please me, but hearts that tremble at my word, that humble themselves even when they don't have all the answers, that choose obedience even when the path ahead is unclear. That is the kind of heart I back. That is the kind of life I use to accomplish things beyond what the world values. And it is this kind of faith I am shaping in you. A faith that doesn't depend on results, a devotion that remains constant through all seasons, an obedience that doesn't seek the approval of man. Everything around you is being tested: relationships, intentions, the very foundations upon which you've built your life. What is not rooted in me will be removed, not as a form of punishment, but as a process of restoration. There are things you believe to be stable because they lasted for years, but they were not truly firm. There are beliefs you held as truths, but they were not rooted in my word. That is why I am bringing to light what has been hidden, not to shame you, but to rebuild from the very foundation. I do not want you to continue building on structures that will not support the weight of what I am about to give you. If I were to place my glory on a weak platform, it would crumble, and I will not allow that to happen. I know you are weary, not from life itself, but from the invisible struggle you've been facing. You've carried heavy responsibilities in silence, made tough decisions that you kept to yourself, moving forward at the cost of your own strength. You've tried to hold things together when everything inside of you was screaming that you couldn't take another step. I saw all of it. I was there, watching. And that is why I come to you today with a promise. If you truly surrender to my will, you will no longer have to bear that weight alone. I will cause the wind of heaven to blow in your favor. I will move resources that you've been waiting on. I will open paths where you only saw barriers. I will multiply your steps, even when you feel exhausted, but that divine intervention hinges on your decision, not what you say, but what you do. You cannot change the past, and you cannot rewrite what has already happened, but you have the power to determine what is to come. I am the God who redeems time, and if you align with my purpose, I will make the years you thought were lost bear fruit in a single moment. What you could not see in a decade, you can witness in a single act of obedience, not because you deserve it, but because that is who I am. I am good, I am just, and I am holy. And in my holiness, I cannot be treated as common. If you desire all that I have for you, you must learn to walk with me in reverence, not just in search of blessings. Truly, those who walk with me sincerely receive more than they could ever imagine. I am speaking plainly now, because time is short. There is a generation waiting to witness my power, and you are part of my plan. There are hands that only you can lift, hearts that only you can reach, not by your own strength, but because my Spirit will move through your obedience. But if you let this moment slip by, if you fall back into indifference, the days ahead will not be ones of growth, but of stagnation.